In a shocking and deeply emotional turn of events, Frances Swaggart, the beloved wife of iconic televangelist Jimmy Swaggart, has reportedly been rushed to the intensive care unit after a sudden and unexpected collapse at her home. Fans around the globe are shaken to their core, fearing the worst for the woman who has stood as a pillar of strength, faith and resilience through decades of ministry, personal struggles and most recently, heartbreaking loss. The news of Frances being hospitalized has sparked waves of concern, support and heartfelt prayers across social media platforms, churches and Christian communities. Frances Swaggart, who has long been a vital figure in the Jimmy Swaggart Ministries, was reportedly found unresponsive in her residence late Wednesday evening. According to initial reports from inside sources close to the family, Frances had been under immense emotional and physical stress following the recent death of her husband, Reverend Jimmy Swaggart, who passed away just days prior. While the family had not yet recovered from the sorrow of losing the spiritual leader, this sudden medical emergency has brought an entirely new level of devastation to the Swaggart household and their supporters worldwide. Eyewitnesses and those close to Frances say she had not been eating properly and had been spending long hours in isolation, praying, grieving, and clutching Jimmy's personal Bible. Many described her behavior in the last few days as deeply sorrowful but quietly brave. She reportedly refused help from family and insisted she was fine, determined to remain strong for the sake of the ministry and its followers. But it seems the grief eventually took a toll on her frail body. According to a church staff member who wished to remain anonymous, Frances looked tired, like her soul was heavy. She smiled for the cameras, but when no one was watching, she was just a heartbroken widow. Paramedics arrived at the Swaggart residence around 9:30 p.m. after an emergency call was placed by a family member who found Frances on the floor, unresponsive but breathing. EMTs immediately transported her to the nearest hospital in Baton Rouge, where she was admitted into the ICU. Doctors have yet to release an official statement, but unofficial reports from hospital staff suggest that Frances may have suffered from extreme exhaustion, dehydration and potentially cardiac stress, though no one has confirmed whether she experienced a heart attack. As word spread rapidly, fans from all over the world began flooding social media with posts and prayers. Hashtags like #PrayForFrances, #FrancesSwaggart, and #SwaggartFamily quickly began trending on platforms like Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Thousands of messages poured in from congregations across America, South Africa, the Philippines and the UK, regions where Jimmy Swaggart Ministries has long held influence. One post read, "Frances is not just a wife or a preacher's helper. She's a mother figure to so many of us. We need her to pull through." Others shared stories of how Frances had personally ministered to them through her music, television appearances, or sermons on faith and perseverance. The emotional weight of this emergency is only compounded by the spiritual role Frances has played for so many years. Not merely the wife of a prominent televangelist, Frances carved out her own space as a singer, author, and co-host of the network's flagship programs. She often offered guidance to young women in the church and shared candid insights on enduring life's hardships through a foundation of unwavering faith. Over the decades, she stood by Jimmy's side through scandals, rebuilding years, triumphs and tragedy, always calm, always graceful, and always praying. Her sudden hospitalization has therefore felt, for many, like watching a lighthouse dim in the middle of a storm. In the days leading up to this emergency, Frances had been seen in several live broadcasts on Sonlife broadcasting network, appearing visibly frail but determined. Her last appearance was especially haunting. She clutched Jimmy's Bible close to her chest and read aloud from Psalms, holding back tears. "I will bless the Lord at all times," she said, "even when I do not understand his ways." Fans now look back on that moment as a spiritual warning, a farewell, or perhaps a silent cry for help that went unnoticed in her brave demeanor. Pastors, celebrities and faith leaders have taken to social media and news networks to offer support. Bishop T.D. Jakes wrote, "We lift Sister Frances up in prayer. May the same God who held her through decades of storms now give her healing and rest." Gospel singer CeCe Winans shared a touching tribute, calling Frances a true warrior of the kingdom and encouraging others to pray without ceasing. Even secular figures such as Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry expressed concern, acknowledging Frances's enduring legacy in American religious life. At the hospital, security has been tightened as the media and concerned church members gather. No official statement has been issued by the family, but a spokesperson for the ministry issued a brief message: "We are deeply touched by the outpouring of love and support for Sister Frances. At this moment, We ask for continued prayers and privacy as the doctors work diligently to stabilize her condition. The church has organized around-the-clock prayer vigils, with volunteers taking shifts to keep the sanctuary open for anyone wishing to light a candle or kneel in prayer. The ICU ward where Francis is being treated has become a sacred space of sorts. Nurses and medical staff report seeing family members arriving with Bibles, prayer shawls and worship music softly playing in the background. Her son, Jimmy Swaggart, was seen visibly shaken, but leading his own family members in a private moment of prayer. "She's strong," Donny reportedly whispered to a close friend. "If anyone can come back from this, it's my mum." Despite the dire circumstances, hope remains. Francis has long preached about miracles and the unexplainable mercy of God. Followers of the ministry are leaning on those same messages now, hoping for divine intervention. For them, this is not just a medical emergency, it's a spiritual trial, a moment that will either test or strengthen their faith. "We saw Jimmy go," said one emotional fan on a live stream, "but we're not ready to lose Francis. She's the heart of this ministry now." Churches across America are organizing special services and vigils solely focused on healing prayers for Francis. In Texas, California, Georgia, and beyond, people are lighting candles, singing hymns, and interceding for her recovery. Some have even begun fasting, posting videos of themselves praying at dawn and encouraging others to join. The emotional weight of this moment has united people beyond denomination, race, and culture, an echo of Francis's legacy in the church world. If she pulls through, many believe this will mark a new chapter in Francis's spiritual journey. Some hope she'll write a book about surviving heartbreak, or even produce a series focused on resilience in old age. Others simply hope she gets the rest she needs. But all agree, the world is not ready to say goodbye to Francis Swaggart, not yet. This event reignited interest in the couple's decades-long ministry. Archival clips of Jimmy and Francis preaching, singing, and teaching together have been circulating online, bringing older fans to tears and introducing new generations to their message. A particularly viral clip shows the two holding hands on stage singing "Jesus is the sweetest name I know." The emotion, unity, and faith in that moment seem to perfectly represent what Francis now means to millions. Meanwhile, speculation continues to swirl around Francis's condition. Some unverified rumors have suggested that she slipped into a coma or suffered a stroke, while others claim she's conscious but in critical condition. The lack of an official medical report has only added to the emotional whirlwind, prompting both hope and fear. The family, understandably, is choosing privacy over publicity for church leaders within Jimmy Swaggart Ministries have taken to the airwaves to remind people not to lose faith. "Francis taught us to pray in uncertainty," one preacher said during a live broadcast. "Let us do for her now what she's done for us for decades, stand in the gap." The message is clear. This is not just about health, but about legacy, faith, and standing firm in the face of sorrow. For younger fans, many of whom discovered Francis through YouTube sermons or TikTok clips, the moment feels surreal. "She reminded me of my grandma," one teen posted. "Her voice made me feel safe. I'm crying and I've never even met her." This generational bridge is perhaps the most powerful proof of her reach. Francis Swaggart was not just a figure of the past, but a presence in the present, and for many a guiding light into the future. As the night deepens and prayers continue, one thing is clear: Francis Swaggart is loved. Whether she awakens tomorrow or needs longer to recover, her life, her words, and her unwavering example have left a permanent mark on this world. And right now, as thousands kneel in prayer, heaven is undoubtedly listening. If you've ever been touched by Francis Swaggart's sermons, songs, or strength, now is the time to return the blessing. Let's cover her in prayer. Let's believe in miracles. And let's hold on to faith, just like she always taught us to. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Celebrities News Blaster for more updates on this developing story. We will continue to pray, hope, and stand united.